Right now at 5, an organization in Carthage wants to make sure families have the diapers they need.
And we've got a few scattered storms entering our western counties. Could see a few more through the day. Still dealing with dangerous heat for some. We'll have a look at that forecast. Get you out the door. Coming up.
Plus, the city of Miami receives more than $6 million to address flooding concerns throughout the city.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
I'm Chris Warner. So hopefully you had a good Monday.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. How about yourself?
That wasn't bad.
Good.
Wasn't bad at all. Flew right by.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't sleep last night.
Oh, no.
I was joyful. But that's all right because we're here. It is now Tuesday. And of course, as we like to remind you, we're live here on KOAM, streaming on the KOAM Plus app. So wherever you're at, you can take us with you.
Absolutely. What better way than to have Chris in your pocket? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't no. You don't necessarily want that. No. Well, we do have a few scattered thunderstorms out there. Yeah. We still have to deal with some dangerous heat, unfortunately, as well. So here's the Skywatch storm tracker, and as we look to the west, you can see we've got these scattered storms. So this has been a trend. Now this happens every so often. Like last year, I think it happened twice, where the computer model data doesn't pick up on something. It's not showing something that's actually happening, and it doesn't pick up on it for a while. This has happened several times this year during storm season, especially in the mornings. Computer model data has not picked up on any of this thunderstorm activity. So that's where it becomes a bit of a challenge for us because according to all the model data we look at, short-term, mid-range, long-range, it says this shouldn't be here. So we're going to keep an eye on it. It's not strong, it's not severe, but we're going to see exactly how this plays out. It's not really moving a lot, but it is starting to get into parts of Greenwood and Elk counties out there. And as we take a look further out, you can see we've also had a few stray showers here and there ahead of this. And then we do have off to the northwest, and thankfully this is going to miss us, this severe thunderstorm. It's got 80-mile-an-hour winds, and it's just been kind of plowing right down I-70, getting ready to roll into Salina. And so now there's a thunderstorm watch that goes along with that. But we'll watch those storms out west and see what they do as we go through the day. Heat advisories, all the counties in orange, all of them through 8 this evening. So that's some good news. There's some consistency there. But all these go through 8 this evening. So if you're under that heat advisory, heat index values could still get close to 110 degrees. So this is what we're talking about with the model data. As you can see, it's only showing a few showers. Now, by this afternoon and into the early evening hours, we're looking at more scattered showers and storms, and those will continue through the evening, and we'll see better chances for storms as we go overnight. And some of the storms we see through the day today, even though they're expected to be isolated to widely scattered, could be strong, low-grade severe, with wind and hail being the primary concerns. It is toasty out there. Look at this. We are in the low, even mid-80s in some cases out there this morning at 5 o'clock in the morning. So that's, again, why we have some of those heat advisories. So, again, isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. Might even see a break by noon-ish, and then we'll see them begin to increase again as we head into the evening hours. On average, highs today, once again, mid-upper 90s across the area. And again, those heat index values close to 110 for some of us. We'll keep an eye on the storms that are out there now. We'll have more details on what we're expecting through today into our Wednesday, and when we're going to get some relief from the heat here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, see you soon. Well, the Federal Emergency Management Agency is helping address flooding issues in Miami, Oklahoma with a new grant. The $6.3 million grant is the largest the city has ever received. The city will use the money for hazard mitigation projects in 5 flood-prone areas. Their aim is to prevent future road closures due to roadway flooding, and the selected areas are direct routes in and out of the city. An announcement ceremony was held on one of the most affected bridges in the city, where local and state officials celebrated the steps towards improvement.
This is a $6.3 million grant to raise some bridges and approaches around Miami. Some critically important areas to Miami travel, economic development wise, and also just people that live here and people from out of town that are traveling through.
The project is expected to take 3 years to complete from design to finish. FEMA is helping address flooding issues in Miami, Oklahoma with a new grant, as we mentioned. And this was the $6.3 million grant. Is the largest grant the city has ever received. The city will use the money for hazard mitigation projects in 5 flood-prone areas. Their aim is to prevent future road closures due to roadway flooding, and the selected areas are direct routes in and out of the city. An announcement ceremony was held on one of the most affected bridges in the city, where local and state officials celebrated the steps toward improvement.
We've been working on this project for 3.5 years. We've been rejected a couple times. They've asked us to update some stuff, so we've updated them. Once we did that, we finally got accepted. We actually heard a few weeks ago that we were awarded it, but we wanted to wait till it actually became official in writing, and then getting everybody down to celebrate. So it's a huge celebration. It's a huge win for Miami.
As mentioned, the project is expected to take 3 years to complete from design to finish. Well, Happy Bottoms Diaper Charity helps Southwest Missouri families who struggle to afford diapers. As demand increases, the charity says they can help others without donations from the community. KOAM's Melissa Alexis has more.
It takes the whole village to help the people.
1 in every 2 families have difficulty affording diapers for their children. To help, Happy Bottoms Charity in Carthage provides a monthly supply of 75 diapers to families in need.
They're relieved and they are appreciative. They are surprised at the generosity of the program.
But the organization says demand has gone up and they can't meet the diaper needs of the community without the support of donations from the public. And they say they'll even accept open diaper packages.
Definitely an increase in need. We have seen a 77% increase over last year.
Susan Belder-Angulo, the co-executive development director, says that to combat people who aren't in need but may be looking to take advantage of the generosity of charities, they have a system in place.
Portal system that allows an agency like McCune Brooks Healthcare here in Carthage to see where if a family is receiving diapers from another partner agency of Happy Bottoms, and that we really try to make sure that families only receive 75 diapers a month.
According to Nielsen IQ, diaper prices have increased by 22% since 2018, and government assistance, like WIC, doesn't cover diapers. She says that's why this charity matters so much.
It's always heartbreaking to see a family in need, but I think what gives us hope is that we see the relief on a family's face when we say yes, we can give them diapers.
Angulo says that a lack of access to diapers is not only an economic issue, but a health issue, as not having them can cause dermatitis and other skin issues for children. Reporting in Carthage, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Angulo, the co-director, is currently advocating to get sales tax on diapers reduced or eliminated. To donate to Happy Bottoms, you can find more information on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Bobby Witt Jr. competes in the MLB Home Run Derby. We'll have the details. Plus, possibly one of the world's rarest whales washes up on the shores of New Zealand. And we have a hot and cloudy day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
The 2024 Women's Wrestling Freestyle National Championships wrapped up in North Dakota over the weekend. A local athlete shines on one of the sport's biggest stages. Kylie Dillow, who will be a junior at Chanute High School this coming fall, is named a Fargo All-American at the National Championships this past weekend. Competing at 170 pounds, she beat her first 2 opponents, 10-0 and 12-0. Advancing to the quarterfinals as one of the last 8 wrestlers standing in a tournament that features 128 participants in each weight class. Yesterday was day 2 in the 2024 MLB draft. Rounds 1 and 2 took place Sunday. Things speed up with rounds 3 through 10 starting yesterday afternoon. The Royals drafted a 2-way player and catcher in the first round on Sunday. They stay pitcher heavy in day 2. Kansas City drafts 8 players, 7 of which are pitchers, including Drew Beam, LP Langevin, and AJ Causey. All 3 of them are third-team All-Americans in 2024. Kansas City's lone position player from the second day is Kenyon Brown, a catcher from North Carolina A&T who batted .322 as a junior this past season. Meanwhile, the Cardinals' only pick from day 1 was West Virginia shortstop J.J. Weatherholt. They lead off day 2 with Brian Holiday, who saw very limited action with Oklahoma State this year after being named the JUCO World Series Most Outstanding Player in 2023. In the fourth round, they take Arizona State catcher Ryan Campos, who has batted above 350 for the entirety of his college career. They also draft a couple of all Big 12 performers in Braden Davis and Josh Cross. The draft wraps up with rounds 11 through 20 today. Yesterday also marks the beginning of Major League Baseball's All-Star break. None of the 30 Major League clubs play yesterday evening, but the 2024 Home Run Derby takes place. Royals shortstop Bobby Witt Jr. is one of 8 participants in last night's MLB Home Run Derby in Arlington, Texas. The Kansas City Slugger hits 20 home runs in the first round of the event, some of which you're seeing right now. That's good enough to send him through to the semifinals, which makes him the first Royal to do so since Danny Tartabull in 1991. Then in the semifinals, Witt Jr. faces off against Jose Ramirez of the Guardians. Witt Jr. hit 17 more home runs that round, which puts him through to the finals. He bats second in the final round and watched Teoscar Hernandez hit 14 home runs in his final at-bat. Check this out. Witt Jr. has 13 home runs and 1 out remaining, so he needs to hit a home run on this swing to keep the contest going. And he comes up literally inches short. His final swing ends up hitting the top of the wall in left center, and Bobby Witt Jr. finishes in second place at the Home Run Derby. Still to come, we'll see why childhood immunization rates continue to fall even after the pandemic, and we'll have another look at our shower and thunderstorm chances and dangerous heat when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is 5:17 just about on this Tuesday morning. We're starting with Skywatch Storm Tracker, so we're going to first focus on these thunderstorms that are rolling into our far western counties. We're keeping an eye on them. Not strong, not severe, but as we discussed earlier, this is one of those complicated, this has been a complicated storm season when it comes to morning storms, because we've had several times now where the computer data that we look at to kind of help us get through the day and kind of figure out what's going to happen hasn't shown this. Doesn't show these storms at all. They shouldn't be here. And that makes it a little more complicated for us, especially in the mornings, because then we kind of have to take some guesswork. Now, they're not moving very fast, and as I mentioned, they're not strong or severe, but we'll see exactly what they do. They're slowly drifting off to the east. And then, outside of that, see, like up here where it says Yates on Yates Center, we've got this little shower, and as we head a little further back to the south and to the east, let me walk this sucker over here. Here we are. We have this shower south of Carthage, east of Joplin, just paralleling the north side of I-44, and a couple of spotty showers back into northeastern Oklahoma. Now, we were expecting some scattered showers and storms this morning, but like I said, some of this not showing up, so we'll see exactly what it does. Right now, the only severe risk is up to our north along I-70, where there is a severe thunderstorm watch, and that one cell up there, take a look at all that lightning. Did a count on it earlier. 801 lightning strikes in just that one thunderstorm cell, and it's producing 80-mile-an-hour winds as it races off to the east. So it could also have an impact on the backside of it as to what happens with this cluster of showers and storms down in our area if it starts to force it a little further east. Because see, take a look. It's not really moving much. It's trying to roll east, and then in the last few frames, see this cluster starting to turn northeast. So we'll see exactly what that does for us. We do have a risk for some strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms. Don't have any areas highlighted for a tornado threat, which is good, but we do have the entire area highlighted for a low-wind hail and low wind risk. So maybe some large hail, some gusty winds out there as the primary concerns. What we are expecting, though, is isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms as we go through the day today. Not everybody initially is expected to see rain, but some of the storms that we do see could be strong to low-grade severe as they push through the area through the evening hours. Then as we go late evening and into the overnight, we'll see another cluster of showers and thunderstorms begin to develop, mainly south at this point, south of Highway 54, and some of these could be strong to low-grade severe as well as we head into the first part of our Wednesday. Then we'll see a bit of a pause in activity, and we are expecting additional redevelopment to show up a little bit. Again, another round of isolated to widely scattered showers and storms tomorrow afternoon. We do have heat advisories across a good portion of the area, all of them through 8 p.m. tonight, and that is because we could see heat index values up to 110 degrees once again, so we have a moderate to major heat risk out there. But take a look, thanks to the rain and the cloud cover, by tomorrow, it's a minor heat risk, and then this is even better. Look at Thursday. We have a little to no risk section right in the heart of our area, and that begins to shift a little to the east by Friday. Temperatures are going to get a lot more manageable, and don't forget we have a number of extreme heat safety tips on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Quick look at temperatures: 82 in Joplin, breezy, south winds gusting to 24, feels like 86. Dew point humidity levels up there. Look at these temperatures out here too. At 5:20 in the morning, all of us low to mid 80s with a few upper 70s out there. And once you factor in the heat, the humidity and dew points, our heat index values are in the mid 80s and even getting close to the upper 80s, like Miami and Grove. Feels like 88 right now. We go through the morning again, scattered, isolated storms out there, and we'll see what that complex out west does. About 90 by 11 o'clock. Highs again today into the mid to upper 90s across the area. And then we cool back a bit. It'll be more manageable. Upper 80s, low 90s with more thunderstorm chances as we head into next week. That is a check of your forecast. We will be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, childhood immunization rates continue to fall even after the pandemic. According to the World Health Organization and United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, the rate of immunizations dropped during COVID in a, quote, historic backslide, but has yet to recover. Worldwide vaccination coverage was at 84% in 2023, the same as in 2022, but fell short of the 86% recorded in 2019. WHO and UNICEF's 2023 immunization coverage report released Sunday in the world's largest study on immunization trends for vaccinations. It's pretty well known that the Mediterranean diet has plenty of health benefits for adults. The diet includes plant-based cooking, healthy fats, as well as fruits, vegetables, beans, lean meats, and fish. But now there's evidence that the diet can also help children, particularly their hearts. Researchers looked at 9 earlier studies that focused on kids who ate a Mediterranean diet for at least 8 weeks. The study found that the children who went on the diet had lower blood pressure and total cholesterol. The research further supports that having healthy dietary habits early in life can help prevent cardiovascular diseases and metabolic disorders. Those include high blood pressure and diabetes, conditions that often start during childhood. It's not a topic most like to talk about: the discomfort and urinary leakage many experience after pregnancy due to a weakened pelvic floor. Mandy Gaither has ways to improve symptoms without turning to surgery.
4 weeks after giving birth, Nicole Lukens started feeling pressure in her pelvic area.
It just felt very heavy. And so, knowing my body, I knew something wasn't right.
Lukens was diagnosed with a prolapsed bladder, the result of a weakened pelvic floor causing discomfort and leakage. One option was surgery.
I'm thinking that's just not going to happen, because surgery means I can't lift my baby afterwards. It's just not going to happen.
Instead, Lukens' doctor referred her to pelvic floor therapy aimed at alleviating symptoms by strengthening those muscles.
This myth that once we've had kids or as we get older, we're just going to start leaking and we'll just lose control of these muscles and it's just gone, is sad, and it's definitely not true.
Tessa Ladd, an occupational therapist with Orlando Health, helped to teach Lukens new ways to breathe and move to support the pelvic floor.
With consistency, with education, with training, you really can regain control of these muscles, and you really can start to learn how to coordinate them and use them so that you don't have pain or leaking or any risk for prolapse.
A lot of it was yoga moves and how I was breathing and stretching.
Now about 9 months postpartum, and Lukens says her doctor is amazed with her progress.
I don't really have very many symptoms at all, but it is something I work on daily.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The therapist says if you're struggling with symptoms, see a primary care provider or OBGYN to see if pelvic floor therapy might be right for you. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Now we've got some clouds out there, some scattered storms in our western counties. We'll have another look at that forecast for you when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, the Miami City Council discusses the fate of miles of historic Ribbon Road.
And we do have a few isolated scattered thunderstorms out there this morning. Heat advisories once again. We'll take a look at all of that in that forecast. Get you out the door coming up.
Plus, the MSSU Board of Governors discusses penalties for students who fall behind on payments.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:29. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Tuesday.
Here we are.
That's it.
You seem to really like Tuesday. You're always thinking it's Tuesday.
It's not Monday, and
No.
that's like probably the best part
Yeah.
about it. But you know, yesterday wasn't a bad day all in all.
Yeah.
Sometimes Mondays can be good days, and yesterday was one of those times where Monday was a good day.
It's because I wasn't here.
Well, that was part of it. No, I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
no.
That
I got
wasn't
you.
that
I see
wasn't
you.
it.
I
That
see you,
wasn't it
Chris.
at all. It was just some good news day yesterday.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, there was some good news that I got personally. Sorry, I'm not talking about news we necessarily reported on. News I got personally was some good news yesterday. So hopefully your Monday was great. Hopefully your Tuesday's even better. And we have some rain chances out there. We're going to start with the Skywatch Storm Tracker and show you where some of these scattered showers and storms are. So we've got these thunderstorms out to the west, and we talked about this where they're not showing up on the model data this morning, but it did occur to me because I've slept since then. These storms actually did show up yesterday on the model data, but they're not showing up this morning. So these are actually, if we go back in time to data from 24 hours ago, are right exactly where they're supposed to be. So we're going to run off of yesterday's information because so far it's accurate. Nothing strong or severe with this, but it's beginning to roll in to Greenwood County, into Chautauqua County, south of Sedan. Not that much lightning. Again, nothing strong, nothing severe. And we're getting little showers and storms, and I'm going to walk this to the east here. Ahead of that. So we've got this shower now southeast of Carthage and Jasper County, a few spotty showers into northeastern Oklahoma. The only severe threat, again, is that storm that's up to our northwest, which, again, 800 some odd lightning strikes with that thing and winds of 80 miles an hour as it barrels east along I-70. So if you are traveling up north for any reason this morning, just bear in mind that that cell is it's packing a punch. It means business. As for us, most of us still under heat advisories, all of them through 8 this evening. And so those of you that are in the counties in orange, you can still see heat index values pushing 110 degrees. So we're expecting isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms through most of the day. Some of those that we see could be strong, low-grade severe hail and wind are the primary threat. And then we'll see more organized thunderstorm activity overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. Right now, though, take a look at these temperatures. A few upper 70s, the rest of us into the low 80s out there. And it's going to be, again, for most of us, another hot one with our highs into the mid to upper 90s. And we'll see those thunderstorm chances, again, increasing as we head later into the evening. We're going to have another full look forecast, talk about these storms and the cool down that's going to happen following these storms here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
Chris, thanks. A Neosho, Missouri woman received state recognition for her volunteer efforts helping those in need. Susan Carlston volunteers with Freeman Neosho, Meals on Wheels, her church, and the Neosho Fish Hatchery. Yesterday, the Missouri Community Service Commission recognized Carlston with its Senior Service Award for her efforts.
When I first heard about it, I was just really surprised because I don't feel like I really do any more than anybody else.
Carlston says she was first inspired to help after her injured mother was helped by a volunteer following the Joplin tornado. The Missouri Southern Board of Governors yesterday held a special meeting to discuss penalties for students who fall behind on payments. The board decided to add a $100 late fee to a student's outstanding balance if payments are behind schedule. Before now, the school withheld transcripts for students with an outstanding balance, but a new federal law changed that.
This is happening specifically because the new federal regulation that we can no longer withhold transcripts for any student who receives Title IV aid.
Officials hope this fee encourages students to stay on top of payments. The Miami City Council met yesterday evening with a full schedule of agenda items to discuss. One of those items concerned the fate of 3 miles of historic Ribbon Road. While the county commissioners proposed to destroy the stretch of Route 66, Miami's Mayor Bless Parker says the historic road should be protected.
Original stretch of Route 66. It's 9 foot, and it's the original asphalt, and it's a piece of history. And it's the most historic road in the world. Not just Oklahoma, not just the United States, in the world. People travel from all over to come see this piece of history. And destroying it, mailing it up is just not a good option, in our opinion.
The council also voted to establish a Main Street board with the goal of expanding access to property and events downtown. Officers from the Parsons Police Department helped cool down the public yesterday. Free popsicles were available for anyone in attendance, and officials answered questions from the youth and adults alike. The purpose of the program is to connect officers deeper with the community, all while having a little fun.
I think it's very important for the police to get involved in the community, just for community members to see them in a different light, know that they are humans, and to be able to interact with them, ask them any questions they may possibly have, and just to be able to have a better connection throughout the community.
This was the second year of Popsicles with Police in Parsons. The department says the event has proven to be a successful community outreach program. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. American troops are in Armenia as the countries hold joint military drills. Plus, former President Donald Trump finally announces his running mate. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Topping World Watch, possibly one of the world's rarest whales washes up on the shores of New Zealand. The country's Department of Conservation says they believe this is a spade-toothed whale, and no one knows how many there are, what they eat, or even where they live. DNA testing will be conducted to confirm the species, and if it is confirmed, it would be the first specimen found in a state that would permit scientists to learn more about the species. Only 6 other spade-toothed whales have been found. At least 90 Palestinians have been killed in an Israeli attack in the Gaza Strip. The strikes on Saturday also left 289 other people in the Khan Yunis area injured. It remains unclear if the attack occurred inside an Israeli designated humanitarian zone. The coastal strip is where hundreds of thousands of displaced Palestinians have fled in search of safety, sheltering mostly in makeshift tents. An Israeli official confirmed Mohammed Deif, the head of Hamas's military wing and the alleged mastermind of the October 7th attack on Israel, and another top Hamas official were the target. There were no immediate word on whether 2 men were killed. American troops are in Armenia as the countries hold joint military drills Monday. Armenia, previously part of the Soviet Union, is growing closer with the U.S. as its ties with Russia weaken. Armenia's defense minister says the drills are aimed to strengthen teamwork between the countries involved in international peacekeeping missions. The most intensifying tensions with Russia, one of many since the country has made strides to further itself from Moscow. Recently, Armenia joining the International Criminal Court, which indicted Russian President Vladimir Putin for war crimes against Ukraine. The drills are expected to last until July 24th. Well, day one of the Republican National Convention winds down in Milwaukee after much anticipation. Former President Donald Trump finally announced his running mate. Rebecca Castor reports from the convention center.
Insiders tell Fox that Ohio Senator J.D. Vance did not know he was going to be the VP nominee until 20 minutes before the announcement. J.D. Vance enters the Republican National Convention to a standing ovation after officially being named as Donald Trump's vice presidential nominee. The first-term senator from Ohio was once a Trump critic, but now one of his fiercest allies.
J.D.'s a good guy. He's smart. I think J.D.'s policies are the most in line with President Trump.
He has the ability to articulate his positions exceedingly well.
J.D. is a young star on the rise.
Before becoming a senator, Vance was known for his best-selling memoir, where he describes an upbringing consumed by poverty and abuse. The Trump campaign hopes his story resonates with working-class Americans.
I served my country successfully in the United States Marine Corps. I had a successful business career, and I have the vision and the agenda aligned with President Trump to make the American worker better off, to bring peace to the world, and to actually advance an agenda that's good for American citizens.
While security has been heightened, the RNC is carrying on as planned, just 2 days after an assassination attempt on the former president.
Take a look at what happened.
The shooting has started a national conversation on bringing the temperature down during this heated campaign season. But in an interview with NBC News, President Biden implied it's more nuanced than that.
How do you talk about the threat to democracy, which is real, when a president says things like he says? Do you just not say anything because it may incite somebody?
After his nomination, Vice President Harris called Senator Vance to welcome him to the race and express her hope that they'll meet on the debate stage soon.
And that's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 5:44 in the morning on this Tuesday. We have some scattered showers in some locations across northeastern Oklahoma and one little shower rather in the southeastern parts of Jasper County. And then we also have, this is not at all where it's supposed to be, is it? No, it is not. This is what happens when you fall asleep at the wheel and just start pressing buttons. That's why it wasn't working. Okay, there we go. That's going to be good enough. We have these scattered showers and thunderstorms in our far western counties. And again, there's nothing strong or severe with any of those. And bear with me while I get this to the right spot. And I, again, apologize for all this excitement. There we go. Now we can get this underway. Abby, I'm sorry. We're going to get the weather underway now. So he's got these isolated showers out there. Scattered storms getting into Greenwood County. Nothing strong, nothing severe. The only severe weather, again, is up to our north. And these storms are trying to slowly work off to the east. You can see they're not moving very quickly. One of them even tried to turn a little northeasterly, but the bulk of the activity is being pushed eastward across the area. And we'll see exactly how long these storms last. But we do, again, have a few isolated to widely scattered storms out there. As we go through the day, that's going to continue to be a trend, and we do have a risk for some strong to low-grade severe storms, with hail and wind being the primary concern with any of those stronger storms. So as we head into the noon hour, again, isolated to widely scattered storms through the evening, but the ones we see could be strong, low-grade severe. We'll go into the late evening. We've got this first batch kind of exiting the area to the east, and we'll have a little bit of a lull, a brief lull, and then later this evening into the overnight hours, we'll see additional showers and thunderstorms. At this point, expected mainly along and south of the Highway 54 corridor, so that's still a good chunk of the area, and some of those could also be strong to low-grade severe as they work through into tomorrow morning, and then we'll see a chance for some isolated to widely scattered storms on our Wednesday, but as we head later into the day on Wednesday, we're going to start to clear out and dry out, and we're also going to be considerably cooler. So we again have heat advisories across most of the area through 8 this evening. So in those heat advisory areas, you could see heat index values reaching upwards of 110 degrees again. So make sure you're taking precautions. Don't forget, we've got heat safety tips on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. It's 82 in Joplin right now. Feels like 86. Dew point, humidity, both up there. So we've got the energy for these storms. We just need that match, essentially. We've got the gasoline. We're just waiting for that match to trigger a few more storms. And unfortunately, it does come with that low severe threat out there. South breeze at 16, gusting to 24. And you can see we've got mostly cloudy skies because we got showers around the city, but not in the city. Around the area, we've got some upper 70s and low 80s across the area. So some of us have cooled back just a little, but it is going to be a short-lived cool down. Take a look at these heat index values, though. It's not even 6 a.m. yet, and it feels like it is almost 90 degrees in Miami and Columbus right now, for example. So it is a very toasty, muggy start out there. As soon as I walked out the door, boy, you could just feel the heat. It just rushed right in the back door of the house this morning. So scattered, isolated storms, isolated to scattered storms through the morning hours. So not everybody will see rain, but some of us will. And we'll be about 90 degrees by 11 o'clock this morning. As we head into the afternoon, again, highs today on average mid-upper 90s. And we'll have those scattered shower and thunderstorm chances as we go through the afternoon hours. And those will continue. And again, increasing coverage as we go into the late evening and overnight hours. And we'll again be watching that possibility of a strong or low-grade severe storm. And we're going to fall back to about 70, so a much more manageable temperature tonight, and that is ahead of considerably more manageable temperatures over the next several days. So we've got this hot day to get through. We're going to be in the low to mid 80s initially. We head into the weekend. We warm up again. It's going to get hot, but not nearly as hot as where it has been. We're going to be a lot closer to average. In fact, Thursday, we're going to be well below average, as we should be about 90 degrees this time of year. But we'll be closer to average heading into the next week, into the low 90s. And then we'll have some additional scattered shower and thunderstorm chances Tuesday through Thursday of next week. That is a check of your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Plenty of movie news today. Here's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
It was challenging and it was unlike anything I worked on.
Timothée Chalamet is taking on a new challenge, ping pong. He's set to star in and produce Marty Supreme, a fictionalized take on a real pro ping pong player known as the Wizard of Table Tennis. The Dune and Wonka star recently finished filming A Complete Unknown, in which he stars as Bob Dylan. No word when that film will reach theaters.
You can't really show your acting in that. You have to be as invisible as possible.
Jessica Chastain will be very visible this winter. The Oscar-winning actress is this year's recipient of the American Cinematheque Award. She'll be honored at a gala in Beverly Hills on December 6th.
We woke up one morning and Europe was at war.
Only non-military access for women.
I just want to do my part. Why should the men get to decide what that is? I'm heading to the front. Ready to go?
The first full trailer is out for Lee, starring Kate Winslet as iconic war correspondent and photographer Lee Miller. The drama, a longtime passion project for Winslet, is due in U.S. theaters September 27th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Well, an amazing annual competition highlighting photography of the heavens has just dropped their cream of the crop finalist images ahead of the ultimate round of judging. Jeremy Roth gives a preview of the shortlist in today's Take a Look at This.
Spectacular, mystifying, out of this world. There's simply no other way to describe the amazing images representing the shortlist of finalists in the 2024 Astronomy Photographer of the Year competition. Put on by the Royal Observatory Greenwich in London, the competition is in its 16th year and saw more than 3,500 entries from nearly 60 countries. The ones you see here represent the cream of the cosmic crop, vying for the top honors in the final round, and were captured using a combination of amazing tech and incredible talent. Like this time-lapse capture of the International Space Station in transit across the moon as seen from Australia, or this dragon-shaped aurora giving off intergalactic Game of Thrones vibes as it loomed large over rock formations in Iceland, or this composite of the sun, which is impressive enough before you spot the wisp of coronal activity that gave it its name, a whale sailing the sun. Finalists will be assessed by an expert panel of judges from the worlds of art and astronomy, and winners in multiple categories along with the top spot will be announced on September 12th, but as far as I'm concerned, they're all winners in my book. Well, this last image isn't up for an award, but maybe it should be. NASA's intrepid James Webb Telescope beamed back the image of what looks like a giant diamond ring in the cosmos, but is actually a large amount of gas and dust in a galaxy's black hole called a quasar. This easy-to-read diagram shows how the galaxy bends the quasar's light so we Earthlings can see it and all its pretty parts from 6 billion light years away. It's a jewel of an image, but the name quasar doesn't exactly shine. I'm thinking Deep Space Diamond has a much better ring to it. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Certainly some incredible out-of-this-world images. Stick around. We'll be right back. Well, Krispy Kreme introduces Passport to Paris donut collection. The iconic donut chain is rolling out new flavors just in time for the Summer Olympics. The opening ceremony kicks off on Friday, July 26th, but fans can start celebrating early with the new donut collection inspired by popular Parisian desserts. The Passport to Paris collection has 3 limited edition flavors, including creme brulee, double chocolate eclair, and raspberry vanilla creme. Fans can buy the new Parisian-inspired donuts in-shop or at select grocery stores for a limited time only. And today we celebrate a fruit staple that has been around for centuries. It's National Cherry Day. Cherries were first recorded by a Greek author in 300 BC, and today the Midwest is the cherry capital. In fact, Michigan produces 94% of the cherries consumed in the U.S. The average cherry tree has 7,000 cherries, which can make up to 28 pies. The little red fruits are rich in antioxidants and vitamins, but don't chew on the pits because they do contain toxins.
That is something I did not know about cherries. Cherries are very interesting. It is, I guess my question now is, what exactly qualifies as the Midwest? Because they said the Midwest produces the most cherries, but Michigan is
and
like
Ohio.
The cherry capital. And
it goes all the way to Ohio.
The Midwest.
I think it's all the way from the Dakotas to Kansas. It gets us in Missouri. It gets Missouri, And then it goes, I don't even know if Kentucky's counted as it, but I think it goes.
It's very,
all
geography is somewhat confusing. Brick Tamlin and Anchorman referred to our zone as the Middle East. Maybe that's as close as we can get. Let's talk about our storm chances. We got a few of those as we go through the morning hours. Some scattered showers and storms. Seeing a few more developing on the Skywatch Storm Tracker this morning, about 90 by 11. We do have some heat advisories out there, so for some of us, could still see heat index values up to 110 degrees. Highs on the average mid to upper 90s with isolated to widely scattered showers and storms. Those will continue through the evening. Some of these storms could be strong to low-grade severe, so we're talking a chance for maybe some large hail damaging wind gusts. So we'll keep an eye on that. Now, again, through the morning and into the afternoon, they're going to be isolated to widely scattered, but later tonight, we're going to see a few more organized complexes roll through, and our temperatures are a lot better too as we fall back to about 70 degrees. We're going to go low to mid 80s on Wednesday with scattered storms in the first half of the day, drying out in the second half, and then we'll hang on to below average temperatures starting into Saturday, near average by Sunday and Monday into the low 90s with more thunderstorm chances as we head into next week. That is a check of your forecast. We're back with more right after this.